Shalom. It's your brother Malcolm. Giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of all Israel on earth today. You know, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. I'd also like to give salutations and honors unto the to my fellow laborers, the brothers across the four corners of the earth that are doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. The confusion to face Akim that are joined into our ranks, and the few Akwaf that are listening and learning. To you, I say Shalom. Woke, 0 dark 100. You know, sun's starting to come up now. Watched the video. I usually try to open my day with something spiritual, you know. Often I'll just click and go into the group me, or just open up my phone and watch a video, that's got something to do with the prophecies, or a GMS video or whatever. So the one I ended up watching today first was one of the men in my camp, one of my camp heads, my brother Ratazawanyan, the mighty Saint Benji. And the brother did a video called Red versus Ruddy, because Esau has misconstrued and newspeaked the definition modern time. But when it's talking about red or ruddy, they're two different things. Ruddy is referring to youth, first of all. When you go into the original definition, is referring to youth, and secondly is referring to the reddish glow that's in brown colored skin. All right, it's real simple. If you Google ruddy cow, ruddy horse, or ruddy duck, what you're gonna see is something that's a couple shades lighter than that dark screen behind me, because that screen is actually black. But if you look up on those plaques with those swords are sitting on, are actually brown. You go up close to them, they're brown. All right. And so from this distance, you can't tell the difference between the two. It's a really simple thing, man. All right. But there's a difference between brown and black, and brown is actually a derivative of red. OK, which is why when you Google ruddy, you're going to get something that's almost similar to this incense stain, just a little bit dark, and it has those reddish hues. And to prove that point, and just how much of a liar Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is, we're going to go into this book, one of my favorite books by Blacks in Antiquity by Edward Snowden. And Memnon, the character of Memnon, because if you don't know who King Memnon was, he was portrayed here in this movie right here. If you look at the arrows, all right, and I've used this, I kept this, and this is one of my favorite movies, the movie Troy. But that's Memnon. And so the so-called white man, in an effort to try and whitewash history, also claiming, by trying to cause a confusion, when you have scriptures that my skin is black upon me, Judah is, that's in Job, their visage or their visage, their faces are as dark as a coal. We all know what color a coal is. All right. Just like the plaque with the swords are on. Like I said, they're brown. The television screen is black. From this difference, they look very similar, but they're different. Okay. Another scripture. Judah mourneth in the gates thereof. They're dark unto the ground. I'm looking at my plant over there, and the soil. The soil from this distance looks black, but when you get up close to it, it's really brown. That being the point. And then all of a sudden, you want to make Adam red, and then Esau's red, or not Solomon, because Solomon clearly it tells you that he was dark as the tents of Kedar, but you try to make King David red because he was ruddy. So we're gonna break that down, and we're gonna use in plain English. So here's what Esau portrayed on the screen as the Greeks. Because see, this is a ploy, to try and make the whitewash history. All right, but these are the images of Agamemnon, King Memnon, and his armies on these artifacts that were dug up. And you can clearly see the facial features in them. Those were so-called black men, not white men, with woolly hair and beards. Okay? In this book, they were calling Memnon an Egyptian. An Ethiopian. All right? There is no history of Ethiopians conquering Greeks and ruling over Greeks. So that was a bold-faced lie. So there's two things. You also have this lie that we created by the white man called the Hamite theory, which is a myth and a lie. Because what they try to do is say that the Ethiopians, the people in North Africa, and Egyptians were actually dark-skinned Edomites, which is a fabricated lie. Because also, fast forward to Darwinism, see, they get caught up in their lies, man. If you have one drop of black blood, or dark blood, you're not white anymore. When the truth of the matter is, there's no such thing as white. You're red and you have leprosy, thus said the Bible. All right? But now they gave you the images of Memnon and some of his armies, okay, his soldiers, okay? And that's on page 48, 49 of Blacks in Antiquity. But when you go to page 152, or starting at the bottom, I'm going to read here in just that top paragraph right there. And it reads, before Memnon's time, black men were only a myth, which is a lie. It said, in description of another scene of the Trojan War, Philosophus notes, all right, so this is a Greek historian that wrote this, okay? And it was written in Greek. Philosophus wrote notes that the pure black of Memnon's face shows a certain ruddiness. He was young looking. Ruddiness had nothing to do with pale skin. It had to do with youth. And like I said, from this distance, that screen and those plexus, those swords are mounted on, are the screen is black, but the mounts are brown. And from this distance, they look close to the same. Just like there's a difference between a Negro and an African. From a distance, they look the same. When you get up close, even the facial features, the smell, the spirit, everything about Negroes is different from a so-called African. All right, like the Bible gives you an example of that in the book of Amos. All right, but it says the pure black of Memnon's face shows a certain ruddiness, and adds that in Ethiopia, Memnon was transformed. So where is this history about the Ethiopians marching on Greece and taking over Greece? And where were the Ethiopians in this battle, in this movie? See, Esau is just a liar, because he doesn't want to admit, he wants to be the Greeks, but he doesn't want to admit that the Greeks were a brown-skinned people. That's all it was. The Greeks were dark too. But see, he has fabricated this lie about Europe and, trying to blend in. No. You are red Edomites, not ruddy. You are red, just like it says in the Bible in Genesis, the 25th chapter. You have that, you're clean lepers. And I'm going to read that to prove that in the scriptures. All right. But once again, I read this. It says, before Memnon's time, black men were only a myth. In a description of another scene of the Trojan War, Philosophus notes that the pure black of Memnon's face shows a certain ruddiness, and adds that in Ethiopia, Memnon was transformed into a statue of black marble. Further, in early accounts, Memnon had been referred as king of the Ethiopians, or leading the Ethiopians to Troy. No mention was made of his color. In Roman period, however, Memnon was considered at times definitely a black Ethiopian, black and Ethiopian. He is described by Catullus as Ethiopian, as black by Virgil, Seneca. So all these, and Ovid, who refers to the black lovers of Aurora. So the scholar Catullus, the scholar Virgil, or should I say the scribes? The scribe Catullus, the scribe Virgil, and the scribe Seneca and Ovid all referred to Memnon as black. So that throws a monkey wrench in Esau's Hollywood productions and lies about history, which proves that everything that the men here at GMS have been telling you about the Japhet and the difference between Japhet and the so-called white man is true. Japhet was a brown race of people, dark brown race of people, and they had woolly-like, more curly hair. And your Japhetic people today are the the Samoans, the Hawaiians, you know, and the people throughout the island, scattered throughout the islands, man. You know, those brown-skinned people whose hair turned blonde in the sun, because the sun will lift up and lighten up your hair, man. All right. Well, and when the summer comes, my skin gets dark and my hair gets lighter, man. Okay, that's what it does. All right. So Esau is just a complete and total liar, man. And you're caught and you're exposed, man. All right. So Ruddy had nothing to do with red in the way that they try to say it does, man. So let's go to the book of Leviticus and read. And it says, Leviticus 13 and 11, it is an old leprosy in the skin of the flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. And if the leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all of him, he hath the plague from his head even to his foot. Wheresoever the priest looketh, the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean, and he have the plague. It is all white. He is clean. So once that flesh is all over, once you're pale all over like that, you're clean now. And Esau is walking around and clean lepers. And then there's a difference between old leprosy, which is the curse, the people of his curse. All right. Going back to Cain, that was the curse put upon Cain. And that same curse was put upon Esau and his seed, man. All right. So, as a matter of fact, let's go over to Leviticus 13 and 29. If a man or a woman have the plague upon the head of or the beard, and the priest shall see in the plague, and behold, if in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, who has blonde hair, okay, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. All right. And it's as simple as that, man. All right. It is a dry scald, even leprosy upon the head or the beard. But once it's all over, you're now clean. You're a clean leper. All right. So there's a difference between the albinism, which is the curse as well, because there was an Israelite who got that curse put on him and his seed, but he didn't get the unclean red flesh, that raw red flesh, man. Like when you Google pale babies, pale newborns, or red-faced newborns. You Google red-faced newborns, and you're going to get what you refer to as so-called white people. You Google ruddy horse, and you're going to get something that's dark brown, like Negroes or so-called Africans or any melanated people. Hell, there are people in India that are just as dark, if not darker, than some Africans, man. So everybody that's dark is not the same race, man. So Esau, you found out and discovered, man. Matter of fact, one more scripture to close with. Which is Isaiah 25, I believe it's 7. Yeah, Isaiah 25 and 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. So that lie that the Greeks were a Caucasian race of people, which creates that confusion about Europeans and white people. No, that's all a lie. That was a cast covering, man. Esau, Edom. The people of Europe now are majority Edomites. All right. The real brown skin, Etruscans, and the sons of Japhet have been scattered and pushed out of their lands. All right. It's simple as that. All right. They were forced down into the mostly into the Sahara, the lower Africa, man, as Esau and Ishmael and other Arabs took over northern Africa, man. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh, Shem Shai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS. And salutations to my Akim that are doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. To you, I say shalom and abba babal.